Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I want to show you a game of my childhood where I was 16 years old and lost in quite a instructive manner, and I want to show you what went wrong, which questions you should ask in order not to do the same. So we started with some Spanish opening: bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castles, b5, bishop b3, bishop e7, rook e1, castles, d4. This is quite a sideline, but I think it's playable. He answered d6, I answered c3. Now this is of course allowing some bishop g4 stuff, but he did not go for this, but developed bishop b7. I developed, saving the move h3 because it's no longer really necessary. And after rook e8, I could have just continued normally with knight f1 maybe also h3 is possible, but bringing the knight over to g3 looks quite reasonable. Instead, back then in the game, I did not play so positionally sound and was playing for a trap, which I knew, but actually I would not recommend playing like this. So the move which was known to me to set a trap is d takes e5. And first I want to explain why I would not play for this trap any longer, and we will see what the trap is later. So the first reason why I wouldn't take here is that if he recaptures the correct way, then I will lose my space advantage. Black actually never really wants to take here at the moment because I would build some strong center. So it's kind of a relief for black if I resolve the tension in the center, because then he no longer needs to worry about it, and he also minimizes my space advantage a little bit. For example, if takes, knight takes, and pawn takes, we have both equally much space, and white can't count on a big center, so the advantage is probably gone and black is ready to push back my bishop maybe, and it can even happen that black is taking over the initiative. So that's why releasing the tension in the center can lead to some problems, and there is no need for white to do that. I could regroup, and it's up to black to come up with something, and he doesn't want to do this because in such a case the balance of power in the center is clearly in white's favor because we have the center, and this would be much better than the version I showed before. So I decided to play a positionally unsound move in order to have a tactical trick. And in this game, this tactical trick worked. So you guys can try to figure out what should white play here after d takes e5. Take your time, pause the video, and we will just continue with the solution. Solution is that bishop f7 is a very strong move here. And the reason for this is that after king f7, which is forced, queen b3, white gets a huge attack. For example, black has basically three options: going back with the king, going forward with the king, or returning the material. Returning the material is, I think, practically quite bad because, okay, maybe it's not practically bad. Maybe it's just the best move because the others lead to mate, but white has no risk here. I can just take, and okay, I'm no longer any material down, yeah? And the sacrifice already paid out, and I will win some pawn on top. Okay, black can maybe fight. So this is nothing you need to calculate that deeply. The other stuff you need to calculate much more deeply. But after king f8, knight g5, it's also very clear he cannot really prevent the mate except by sacrificing the knight. There is just no move which is interfering or protecting the f7 square. So he chose maybe not the best move, but the one which was practically hardest to refute, because in the other lines it's pretty clear what white needs to do. So king g6 was played. And here maybe I still remember that knight h4 is the way to start, and he needs to run even further. to h5, and I give this check here. This is still easy to calculate because if he takes the knight, we checkmate in a few moves, knight f3 and h3 checkmate, chasing the king who is running just in front of white's pieces and has no help. So after queen f7, he also found the only move, because there is just nothing else, which is g6. And at this point, white has several winning continuations, but as I went on, the path got a bit more narrow, and yeah, back then I underestimated black's defensive resources and maybe just was too enthusiastic about winning and not really considering my opponent's ideas. And that's one of the points I want to show you in this video. We need to watch out for the opponent's ideas, and that's why you will also need to find black's idea to defend after I blundered away the game. So here are many winning moves. The easiest is probably knight f5. The knight can jump here, followed by some queen g7, and if black takes after this, we have knight f3, checkmating on g5 or h6 with the queen. I think this is probably the easiest, but in the game I decided to play h3, which is also fine, and he continued rook f8. But now comes the critical point, and you can pause the video again and try to find a winning sequence, not just the first move. It's really important to calculate something which works, and yeah, we will continue with the solution. So the first move one should consider is probably g4, because it's with check and there are no other real checks, and we should start with this line. After g4, black has no choice, because going to either h6 or g5 runs into the discovered attack, which is almost mate or mate. So black needs to take here. And this is the critical moment in the game where I could still have won the game, but I did not spend enough time and did not pay attention to my opponent's ideas, and I messed up the game. So challenge yourself again and try to find a way to win, and we will continue with the game now. In the game I played king g2, which is threatening checkmate in 1, knight f3, so he cannot take my queen. But I missed one black resource, and maybe you have spotted that black has the move queen to d2, or as he played in the game, queen to d3, which is just getting ready to sacrifice the queen in case I want to play knight f3, and still my queen is still hanging. This is just enough. And I just tried rook to e3, and he took here, but after something like this I couldn't really hold the king in the mating grid, so the king came back and I resigned, because I was not only one piece but 3 pieces down. So that's how quickly the attack failed, and from a position which was at this point clearly winning, actually computer is showing mate in 7, I blundered this game away. So if I would have seen the idea that he will sacrifice the queen, I would have looked for an alternative, finding probably knight to f3 immediately, not allowing the sack, and after king h3, knight g5, black is lost, because king e6, king g4 is answered by queen e6 and queen h3 mate, and after king to h4, you can try how can we bring our pieces into the game to attack the king, and the answer is king to g2, threatening rook h1. So there's nothing he can do, because if he takes here, again queen e6 is on the way, and if he takes our queen, we will just checkmate him with f3. So that would have been it. Bad luck for me this time, but I hope you all learned something from it. Be aware of counterplay, opponent's ideas, This is very crucial. Even if you have a winning position, always pay attention. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.